Widespread internet outages that you probably haven't heard of, going on 2 weeks in some areas. Absolutely insane. Things you're not hearing out in the mainstream media. We have banking network outages that are not being reported out there as well, but you guys are sharing about it. We have hospital updates on what they're hiding, how bad it really is, and this is coming from hospital workers telling us firsthand what's going on, and many other updates from viewers just like you. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and you guys are reporting on things you're seeing and experiencing at your workplaces, at your stores, and giving us the most up-to-date information, unbiased information out there. Thanks so much for your reports coming in. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have retirement funds that you want to get into something a little safer, gold, silver, platinum, coins, physical items, not just paper stocks, Jonathan and his team can talk to you about what you can do and give you some options on that. Just for more information, there'll be a link at the end of the video that you can find out more. All right, let's jump into your reports here. Dallas, Texas. Did you know that Dallas, Texas has had a major internet and phone outage in the southern areas? AT&T businesses and others without internet and phone for 2 weeks now. Now, this is after last summer in July, they had a planned citywide internet outage for maintenance and upgrades and such. And yet now we're looking at the southern part of Dallas having serious internet issues. And companies are going out of their minds. They don't have phones, they don't have internet, and no one's talking about this. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, we're not talking about a couple days. We're not talking about a week. We're talking 2 weeks. Could your business survive without internet? I mean, like, how are they surviving? Cindy shares about just went to make a car payment at Truist Bank in Lehigh Valley, PA, and the teller said the entire system is all down, all locations. I'd have to try it on the next day. Were they hacked? Crazy times. Thanks for keeping us up to date, Steve. Much appreciated. Okay, well, let's open a can of worms that is Truist. Yes, many of you have payments with them that you didn't actually agree to, right? A lot of people actually have mortgages. They're originating at other banks and everything like that, and they sell them to Truist or other brokers. So you don't even necessarily choose these guys. They own your debt. Well, January 5th, Cindy was not the only one talking about that. Looking over Twitter, a bunch of people talking about this as well. Here's a report from Candace. Now, as of January 5th, all of the computers are down at Truist worldwide. This is terrifying. What is going on? Nina, Ariel, did you know that Truist bank systems are all down throughout the entire U.S.? This is between Nina and Ariel talking about this. I just called a local branch to confirm whether it was some banks down or all, and the lady told me all the banks' systems are down. Why were they down on Friday and over the weekend? We don't know. There's no journalist to ask anymore, apparently, but we can at least get you the information that the systems were down, and we have not been able to confirm yet whether they were back up here on Monday or whether they're still down. If you guys have information on whether Truist systems are back up or not. And this isn't the first little run-in with Truist that we've seen either. November 25th, they had a hack. Yes, they were hacked. And then earlier in November, they had their network came down as well. So early November, their systems all across their network didn't work. Maybe it's another hiccup like that. And then November 25th, apparently they had hacking in their system where people got into the system and started adding charges to everybody's accounts. If you have a Truist account, you might want to check check to see how things are going. Some of you have bank accounts there, checking accounts, that type of thing. Others of you have if you just have loans there, just make sure that you can make your loan payments, or that you're not going to be billed for any kind of missing charges or anything like that. Make sure your payments are posting, right? You may be making your payments, you may have your payments auto drafting, but if their systems aren't logging them, you might need to make sure that they are aware that the fault is on their end. Kuwait says the runway lights at the Japan airport to see if the lanes were clear were out. So the lights at the Japanese airport where the passenger jet hit the Japanese Coast Guard plane, where 5 people on the Coast Guard plane did perish, and the passenger plane erupted into flames. All the passengers were able to get out, but apparently the runway lights were out. Not good. Jules says grocery prices in Central and Southern Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. The price of Kool-Aid unsweetened flavor packets was 34 cents when I bought them December 14th, 2023. Less than a month ago, right? 34 cents at the regular price, and they were not on sale. When I bought them yesterday, they were risen up to 50 cents a packet. When you think about what the inflation of that is, it's nickel and diming us, friends. I mean, you look at things and you're like, it's not so much more expensive, but everything has gone up in price. We're being nickel and dimed to death, and we need to tighten our belts. I mean, you can't make the budget work otherwise, right? William says, Rochester, New York, went to Wegmans store. Almost no milk, no cheese, no sour cream. Holes all over the place. They discontinued Kellogg cereals in the normal size boxes, now only family sized available. Cost me $25 to $30 for each grocery bag with basics, not including meat or canned items. And I think we're all feeling that pain, aren't we? Well, some of us are, not the people in Washington, D.C. that take our tax dollars and spend them on whatever they want to and give each other $100,000+ salaries to stamp papers. And, you know, federal workers, they're not working at the office. They're working from home. And, you know, they're working from home. They're making, I mean, the richest zip codes in the United States, on average, are the ones that surround Washington, D.C. Just let that sink in. Not Silicon Valley, but the zip codes around Washington, D.C. Not the zip codes in downtown New York City, but the ones around Washington, D.C. Does that surprise you? Should it? It shouldn't? I mean, seriously. This is from a viewer. I work in an ER, emergency room, in a major metro. We have people driving 40 miles to our hospital hoping to find lower wait times. When people are choosing their ER based on what they think might have a lower wait time, you know there's serious problems with the hospitals. And we've talked about this, that the hospitals are overwhelmed with people who are sick. Absolutely overwhelmed. And that's not even to talk about the 300,000 new people that decided to come in December. Are we building new hospitals for those people? No. They're bringing all sorts of new and novel diseases that are coming from the depths of Africa, Asia. We got all these people coming in who aren't being screened, getting health screenings when they come in. When you get a visa to come to the United States from certain countries, you need to get a health screening. But if you come across the southern border, don't need one. Anyway, so we have people coming from 40 miles away. They always call first, but we cannot give them wait times. We have also taken several of our cots out of rooms to fit 2 chairs in. So they're taking the beds out of the ER rooms to put chairs in so they can get more people in there, doubling their capacity. And yet we still end up with ambulances putting people on cots in the hallways. Like, if you've seen a disaster movie with a hospital, like they got the cots in the hallways and you're like, wow, it's really bad. You know, it's a major disaster. And yet that's what's happening right now, and no one's talking about it. No one's talking about the medication shortages. People are in desperate straits because they're not getting their medications. Nobody's talking about it. ERs and hospitals are overwhelmed. Nobody's talking about it. Mr. Kevin says, shares about the Amos Miller, the farmer, Amish farmer, who was selling organic food and eggs and raw milk, was raided by the FDA, and that was here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Be aware that the war on our food supply is very, very real. Cynthia says, I don't like to jump on those stories immediately when they're like, it was raided and it was because of this. Well, sometimes the government doesn't tell us why they were raided, and sometimes, until you can verify that information, speculation can be kind of dangerous in those type of situations, because is it because he was selling raw milk, or maybe there's some domestic abuse happening, or I'm not saying any of that's true, but maybe there's a murder investigation going on or something like that. And that's the kind of story that kind of can come back and bite you, because you assume, you start connecting dots that aren't necessarily connected. And so I think that those type of stories, it's good for us to wait a little bit and keep our eye on the story and see what's happening. And over the last couple of days, it does seem like, because it was FDA that raided the farm, at first we were just told government agents. And so it's like, from who? If they're the FBI, that's different than FDA. Well, apparently it was the FDA. And so that really does kind of point to the fact that they didn't like him not complying on all their inspections and stuff like that, and not pasteurizing the milk. And so we're watching that one, and we've had a number of these over the past couple of years. They really do seem to be going after some of these particularly Amish people that are standing up to the government on these things. Cynthia says, I live 30 miles northeast of Bowling Green, Kentucky. I went to Food Lion yesterday, and they had extra large cage-free eggs. This is a great tip, by the way, on sale. 2 dozen for $5. I bought 2 dozen, but remember that I heard that I said that you can freeze eggs, right? I looked it up on Google. It's so simple. Friends, I point you in the direction of a lot of things that you can just go type into Google. You can type it into YouTube and you get all sorts of information. I could create videos and walk you through all those things, or you could watch better videos that will walk you through more completely these type of things. But freezing eggs, it's simple. I opted to use cupcake tins instead of ice cube trays. I put 1 egg in each opening, sprinkled a little salt on each, covered with plastic wrap, and froze them. When completely frozen, I removed them from the eggs from the tins. You put them in freezer bags, or you can put them in, and as she did, vacuum seal bags, but not vacuuming them. Take them out and thaw them when ready to use. Super simple. I'm going to get more eggs today. Thanks for letting us know about the culling of the egg-laying chickens, and that's definitely a big thing. I haven't been able to update you on what's happened in the last few days because the FDA's site has not updated since January 1st. So we have no records from what has happened with bird flu January 1st through, and as they're switching their system over to a new year, they just haven't reported any of those dates. We don't know how many chickens have been culled recently. I would change just a slight thing. This is not wrong. What she's doing is not wrong. Just a couple points I would throw in there. That silicone, those silicone things are better because they don't stick. So that now they're floppy though. So you kind of have to make a choice there. But the cupcake trays, the eggs can kind of stick to them real good. So either make sure you spray them down before we put them in there. Also, I will point out this. A lot of people talk about this, and so just passing this along. A lot of people say that you really should scramble the eggs before you put them in there, or else they come out real gummy. So be aware of, you can test that for yourself and see if that's true or not. But the recommendation usually is to put a little bit of salt in there, and then also to scramble the eggs. So that's why you can use ice cube trays, is because even though an egg may not fit in the ice cube tray, if you're going to scramble the eggs anyway and then pour them into the mold, do that. But be aware that you're using raw eggs for all this stuff. Just because they're frozen doesn't make them any less raw, right? So they can still have salmonella on them and stuff like that. So when you're putting those frozen eggs into a Ziploc bag, make sure you treat those frozen eggs as raw eggs, right? Now, if you're getting them from your garden or from your own chickens, they're probably actually safer than if you get the store-bought ones when it comes to salmonella and those type of contaminations. Gail says, Market Basket in Plainstown, New Hampshire. Barely had any bread yesterday morning and no frozen veggies. One worker was trying to make the bread aisle look full, and she was laughing because there's nothing to work with. And this is from Kelly, South Mississippi, about the hospitals. I went to a family get-together yesterday and spoke to a trusted friend who is an RN at a hospital and asked what's going on in the hospitals. It's amazing what happens when you know something and you start asking questions, right? She said the hospitals are so full, she feels like there is a hush-hush pandemic out there, and she has never seen anything like it in all the years she's been nursing. And yet, nobody's reporting on it. Isn't that amazing? It's mostly respiratory, and nobody is talking about it. I went to CVS Pharmacy to get my meds, and I usually pay $10 or nothing. They wanted approximately $360 for them. Same insurance I've had for the past few years. And in Clearwater, Florida, a family member cannot get blood thinner for over a week now. He takes 2 blood thinners, and the one he needs the most he cannot get. I don't know how people are doing it between not having their medicine and not being able to afford it. We all need to pray for our country and the world. God bless us all. Absolute truth out there, friends. Please do keep your updates coming in. If you have something to share with us, just post a comment on any one of the videos on this channel. Use the word update and give us some sort of geographical location. If you need to keep things more on the down low and you want to email me at poplarpreparedness@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys later. If you want to get some more information about Genesis Gold Group, there's one link right there. I'll see you at the other video up here, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.